Rivervine LLC is now officially headquartered in the city of Ashland, Kentucky. Well, it's not totally official yet, but it's on its way. And as long as I play nice and order my hot dogs with sauce and slaw, I'm sure I'll be okay. I'm author Gwen Alyce Clayton, and I own and operate Rivervine Professional Business Writing Services and Rivervine Publishing. Today, I'm going to walk you through the process I went through to get my business license. First, a quick disclaimer: I am not an attorney and this is not business advice. I'm just walking you through the process that I went through to start my home-based business in the city of Ashland, Kentucky. The first step is to pick a name. Of course, I went with Rivervine because that's the name I've been using since I started my first business in California in 2012. I've since done business in Colorado, Indiana, and now Kentucky. It's the name of the fictional city from my books, Fermata Cellars and Zinfandel's Grimoire. When I formed my business, I had to check and see if it was in use by anyone else or if it sounded close to something that somebody else was using. And it also couldn't sound too authoritative, like some sort of a formal entity, like a government or a university or a bank or something like that. So fortunately, that doesn't apply to Rivervine, and I was able to use the Kentucky Secretary of State business name search to see if anybody else was using that name. Fortunately, no one was, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Ideally, I would have chosen a name that I could also register my domain name for a website, but rivervine.com was already taken, and there's another author named Gwen Clayton, so I have to be Gwen Alyce Clayton, and my website is gwenclaytonwrites.com. But my business name is Rivervine. The second step is to register with the Internal Revenue Service. This means I have to get an employer identification number. So even though I'm a solopreneur with no employees, I still need an EIN because that is my tax ID number. And that's what my clients use when they have to send me 1099s and any other documents that I might need for tax purposes. I also need that number in order to get a business license and to open a checking account. Step 3 is to register with the Secretary of State. I chose limited liability company as my business entity type because I wanted to have a little more legal protection than a sole proprietorship offers, and I'm not big enough to need an S Corp or a C Corp, and I don't have any partners, so I don't need a partnership. So LLC was the best option for my risk tolerance level and my business size needs. I was able to register my LLC online through the Kentucky Business One Stop portal, but I had to snail mail my certificate of assumed name, which is the Kentucky term for a DBA. But I had to get an ASN for Rivervine Professional Business Writing Services and for Rivervine Publishing. So those are in the works right now, but check is in the mail. Step 4 is to get a bank account. It's not a good idea to commingle personal funds with business funds, so I always get a business checking account that is just for business expenses and business revenue. And hopefully, if I make enough money, I might just be able to pay myself, but we'll see how lucrative I can become. Fingers crossed. I always go with a local bank when I'm banking. I really don't like patronizing the banks that got bailouts during the 2008 financial crisis. And I just feel like local banks give me better service. And I just like promoting local businesses anyway. That's my jam. I'm all about being local and keeping money circulating in the local economy. For this venture, I chose Kentucky Farmers Bank. They had the most 5-star reviews of any local bank in my area, so I just chose them, plus they're right down the street from my home. My first check was to the city of Ashland for a business privilege license from the city's occupational license department. It's $100 a year, so I am really gonna need to hustle with my little independently published book company and my professional business writing, copywriting / freelance journalism business. So I am all on it and I am ready to get to work. I filed my application yesterday. It still needs to go through the planning department and the code enforcement department and any other departments that make sure that I'm zoned properly and that my business isn't going to be a nuisance to my community. They're mostly interested in am I going to have any signage that's going to be annoying to my neighbors, which no, I'm not going to have any signage. They're going to be worried about traffic on a residential street and parking problems, and I'm not going to have clients coming to my home, so that's not going to be a problem. If I were doing business in the unincorporated area of Boyd County, I would also need to get an occupational license through the county, but through the county fiscal court. But I'm just going to be doing business out of my home, so I should be good. I already had a website, a Facebook page, a Google page, a LinkedIn page, a YouTube channel. So I just need to go through all of my different platforms, including, let's not forget, Amazon's KDP Select. I've got to update all of my information there with my new address, my new tax ID number, my new checking account, routing and account number. Any place where I get money, I need to update all of that stuff. So that's going to be quite a process because I changed my phone number because I wanted a local phone number, and it turns out everything is connected to your phone number. They just assume that even if you move and you change your address, you're going to keep your old phone number, which I actually did. When I moved from Colorado to Fort Wayne, I kept my Colorado phone number, but now that I'm in Kentucky and I'm going to stay in Kentucky and I don't plan on ever moving again, I wanted a Kentucky area code. So that has proven to be my biggest challenge so far. Changing my freaking phone number. Can you believe that? I can't believe it, but it's true. Don't change your phone number, but I'm going through it because I am committed to Kentucky. The whole process is actually pretty easy. It's not that bad. You go from one website to another. There's so much verbiage. And when you're just a solopreneur like I am, you're reading all this stuff and your eyes turn red because there's just so much text. And most of it doesn't even apply to you because you don't have employees, you don't have partners. It's just you. It's just you. You don't need all of this stuff. And there's so much to plow through, and it's so confusing. And some of these websites are not written in layman's terms, and it's just bureaucraties, and I hate it. But hopefully this little video was informational, or at least somewhat entertaining. I know I didn't really turn on the humor this time, but oh look, that's my humor. My necklace was all messed up. That was your humor for the day. If you found this video interesting or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Rivervine YouTube channel. I am your host, author Gwen Alyce Clayton, and I upload videos every Tuesday. Until next week, nice driveway. Kentucky bourbon. This is I have my own, I am an ambassador for Maker's Mark. Did you know that? I am. I am ambassador number 1992452. And my barrel number is 820694.